So I'm finally gonna test out my new mic. I don't know how it's gonna work out. It's raining outside. I'm all cozy in my blankie and I made myself some hot chocolate. It's really hot. So I'm ready to answer some questions for you guys. Let's see. I had asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions just because I haven't done a Q&A in so long, so I figured it was time to do one. First question, how did you keep yourself motivated to start your own coffee business? I guess just because it's something that I've had on my heart for a long time, and then I think another thing too to help keep you motivated with something is if you put it out into the universe. I don't mean that in that way. I mean, like, if you put it out into the world and verbally tell people like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, then there is a certain level of accountability there that you actually have to follow through with saying that. So I'd already told so many people that I was gonna do this thing, and I've had a lot of just annoying things get in the way, but the bottom line is my main motivation, which is different for everybody. It's just that I told people I would do it, so I'm gonna do it because I am somebody of my word and I don't want to back out of something. Where do you see yourself in the next year? 5 years and 10 years? I think in the next year, Garrett and I are really focusing on just like our businesses this year, our relationship this year. Like, it's our first year of marriage, it's our first year of Salted Road being open, it's his first full year of real estate, of Arbonne. Just like, there's so much new this year that we're trying to really just build a really good foundation. I just said really so much, but we're trying to build a really good foundation so that we can eventually move out into a house and be financially secure and then be able to start a family in the next few years. I don't know, we'll see what the timeline looks like with that. Next 5 years, I'm pretty sure we'll already have a kid by then. I don't know if we're trying for the second by that point. I mean, like, I don't know what life's gonna look like by then, but I would hope that Salted Road is just solid and running, that his real estate career is going really well, that Arbonne's still going really well, still earning free trips and all of that, and that we live in a home that maybe we're renovating and then have like 1 or 2 kids by that point. And then in 10 years, I think we would like to be building our own house in 10 years. I'm not really sure how realistic that is, but I know we both want to do that, so we'll see how it works out. How did you meet Garrett? We actually went to the same elementary school together, so we've known each other forever. Do you know how to play any instruments? I do not. I kind of was doing handbells when I was in junior high, but that's as far as I ever got with instruments. Would you bring your trailer to SoCal for an event? No, I wish. Like, that would be really awesome, but there's a lot of logistics people don't even think about. First of all, it's an old trailer. It's not really supposed to travel that far. It would probably fall apart and have a lot of issues on that long of a trip. And then also you have to have permits and be legal by the health department and everything in different states. So I'd have to go through a whole different process just to be in California, and that was enough work in Washington. So I think I'm gonna pass on that. Biggest advice for someone moving in with a significant other? I would just say be patient. Yep, that's a good one. And just like understand that what you think is normal might not be normal for the other person, and vice versa. So just like colliding 2 different people's habits into one space can cause a lot of confrontation. So just understanding, like, you're both used to different things, so when you move in together, you're going to really see that exposed. So just be patient with the other person and figure out things that work for both of you. What is your favorite self-care item thing to do? I love getting pedicures. I think that's so relaxing. That's one of my favorites. Or maybe face masks or facials or massages. All of the above. What is the hardest thing about marriage? I think just that you have to like consider somebody 100% of the time. You never make like your own decisions anymore, and decisions you make affect somebody else, which is like the beauty of marriage because it forces you to be selfless. But also, like, it can be hard sometimes if you're just like lazy and want to not do anything. Like, you have to consider how that's going to affect the other person. Someone said, how to quit a job you hate. What's the right time to leave? The right time to leave is when you have another job lined up. I totally am for like loving your job, but there's a certain extent where there's a time and place in your life to just do a job you hate if you're just trying to get by. Like, everybody's been there. Don't make a foolish decision based on your emotion. If you're just super unhappy at a job, like, that's okay. It's okay to find another job, but make sure you have another one lined up before you leave the first one. I feel like I've seen people just like quit a job because they're mad, and then they are unemployed and they can't pay their bills, and now they've put people around them in stressful situations to help them pay for bills. Don't do that. Just make sure you're being wise and thinking ahead. And if you get another job lined up, tell them that you are giving your other job 2 weeks, and then you can start your new job in 2 weeks. Just to be, I don't know, don't burn any bridges. I'm big on not burning any bridges. Keep good relationship with anyone you've ever worked with, because you never know when they're going to be a reference for you as well. What's your favorite thing about being a wife? I guess being able to be someone's like best friend, and just to be there for Garrett at the end of every day. Like, sometimes he comes home and he's in a really good mood, and sometimes he comes home and he's not in a good mood, if he had a hard day at work or something like that. And I think it's just really humbling to like be someone's person to come home to at the end of the day. So I like being his person. Did you ever expect to have this much success starting YouTube, Arbonne, and also Salted Road on top? No. No, but yes, in the same way. Like, I've been kind of reaping this for a long time, so I always say that wrong. I've been sowing this for a long time, because people say you reap what you sow. I feel like I've been working really, really hard. Like, some people have seen it, most people have not, for the past 5 years with nothing to show for it. And now everything's kind of blowing up. But the worst thing about that is some people think I just like got lucky, and that's not the reality. I've been like working behind the scenes for years and going through like a lot of terrible things people have said to me for starting YouTube, or terrible things people have said to me about Arbonne, or in Salted Road, people tell me I wouldn't be successful, or just like all the roadblocks I've hit along the way. It's been 5 years since I've started trying to open Salted Road, which seems ridiculous to me, but like things just kept coming up and happening. And also I was working full time and trying to start a business when I came home after work. It just was a lot. And so I don't know, I guess I kind of expected it, and I also kind of didn't. A thing I really hate is when people tell me I just got lucky or something. Like, you don't see how hard people work when the camera's not on, or Instagram, they don't post on Instagram. Like, you don't really know people's life. What did you want to be when you were growing up? I think I wanted to be a dolphin trainer, which doesn't make any sense to me, because, sorry to ruin your idea of dolphins, but I heard that dolphins rape people. Gross. So I don't like dolphins. Also, I don't like to swim. So I don't know why I ever wanted to do that. I guess it was cool when I was little. And then on top of that, I also thought it'd be really cool because I was more into photography, not like the video side of things. I really wanted to be a traveling journalist, but then I realized you don't make any money doing that. And then I kind of like changed myself into being an entrepreneur, and I wanted to make money, which is what I'm doing now. Did you tell Garrett when you first started dating him that he was the one? No. But we had been such close friends. If you don't know the story at all, we had been really close friends for like the year before we started dating. So like, I already loved him as a best friend. And so when we started dating, it was really easy for me to transition to like loving him as a boyfriend. And I think I knew within 2 weeks that I was going to marry him, and he said the same. But we probably didn't mention anything about marriage until a month after we started dating. Seems crazy to people, but again, you don't know everyone's life. A lot of people didn't know that we'd been talking every single day for the past year. What has been the hardest part about starting Salted Road so far? All of it. It's been so worth it, but I try not to be a victim mentality, but I really think that a lot of really just unfortunate things have come in my path, and even people saying to me, I've never seen this before, but like just obstacles that I just have hit every single one, and it's made it last so long. And also kind of going along with what I already said, people would make comments to me like, why is it taking you so long, why aren't you started yet, blah 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 blah. And that was really frustrating for me, because then it kind of made me feel like I wasn't doing things right, or that I should be working harder, and I was already stressed and had no social life to begin with because I was working full-time to pay my bills. And then I'd go home at the end of the day, 6-7 o'clock at night, and then I'd go home and work on paperwork trying to figure out this business. There's like no blueprint online on how to open this coffee trailer, whatever, so I had to kind of figure everything out from scratch. I had nobody to help me. So when you get people not being encouraging, that was, I think, the hardest part. It's easy for me to kind of convince myself to keep working and push through something, but when other people don't see how hard you're working and they downplay everything you're doing, I would say that was the hardest part, because it was so hard for me to just not like snap back. I had to just be like, I'm working on it. And then I felt like, even if they didn't feel this way, I felt like people just thought I was not doing a good job. So that was pretty hard. Advice for how to get out of your comfort zone. This is a good question. I love questions like this because I used to be way more shy. I don't know about shy. I just was like really nervous to do things because I cared too much about what people thought about me. And like sometimes I still care what people think about me. But I truly believe this. The only way to get over your fears is to do the things that scare you. I've changed a lot from when I was, 4 or 5 years ago. I was totally a different person. But it's because I made the decision to do things that scared me. And the more I did those things, the more you get out of your comfort zone, things aren't really scary anymore. You get used to it. And it's like the more you do public speaking, if you're afraid of public speaking, the more comfortable you're going to be and it's not going to scare you as much. The more you say things to people that you're afraid to say, the more comfortable you'll be and you won't be as nervous to say things to people or talk to strangers or etc., etc., etc. So like, I know it's like the last thing you want to hear, but if something scares you, you have to do it because it's the only way to get over that. Besides that events, are we going to have a chance to try out Salted Road? Yes, you will. I'm working on getting the schedule. We have special events scheduled, but also I want to get a weekly schedule in place. We're not going to be out 7 days a week, but maybe like 3-4 days a week, maybe 3 days a week. So when we have the schedule, I'll put that out there and you guys can always come see us. Someone said, was he ever on your dating radar about Garrett? Yeah, I guess so. Like, I have grown up knowing him. I've always thought he was cute, but we also, like, we had mutual friends, but him and I never really crossed paths, so I guess I never thought we would date, but now that we're married, it doesn't surprise me because I've always thought he was cute, and he says the same thing about me. We just never talked until after high school. Someone said, how did you know Garrett was the one after knowing each other your whole life? I think everyone's answers on this can be different. I think the main thing for me was that he is the first person I 1,000% felt like I could be myself with him, and he still liked me. And I think another thing with that too is that we were best friends before we were even like dating. Even before we considered dating, we talked every day for a year. He knew everything about me, all the crap I've gone through. I knew all the crap he's gone through. Like, we talked about everything. Even like before we were dating, we talked about like other people we had gone on dates with, like that type of friendship. So like he knew me really well and I knew him really well. So like when we started dating, I felt so comfortable with him and it was the best feeling ever. I've never felt like that with anyone before, and I know that that's important in a marriage. It's going to make you feel comfortable to say things to your spouse, which you should feel comfortable, and not to feel insecure because you know that they love you no matter what. What is the most challenging and best thing about being in a long distance relationship before? I guess the most challenging is we're never together this much. So we went from not seeing each other for like 30 or 60 days at a time to seeing each other, you know, like 3 days at a time when I would visit, to all of a sudden like every single day when he moved home. So it was kind of an adjustment at first, like just us getting annoyed with each other because we were together all the time and we weren't used to being together that much. I would say the best part about it is that our communication was like really on point. We know the value of like being with somebody that you love because we've been in the situation where you're not able to be with the person. So I don't know, we just really appreciate like when we're together. Someone said, would you drop everything and move states for your significant other if you knew you'd be happy there? Yes. Garrett, probably not. I would. I'm definitely the more spontaneous one. The only thing that I'm hesitant about is the business with Salted Road here and stuff. But if I didn't have Salted Road, or if there was another option, I would move anywhere. Almost anywhere. There's some places Garrett wants to move that I don't want to live. I'm definitely like up for adventure, and I think change is fun, and I think it's cool to just go different places, so I'd definitely be open to that. What do you think of drinking alcohol while being a Christian? I love it. I do. I don't know. I think that's kind of like your own personal judgment. It depends on how you were raised or what you think about alcohol, or also what your self-discipline is, I guess. Like, I don't have an addictive personality or anything, and I don't get drunk. So if I have a drink, it's like I had a margarita today, but I had one margarita, and that was it. So really it just kind of depends on like how you can portion it, and also like what your motives are. Are you trying to get drunk, or are you just trying to enjoy a drink? Someone said, what was your aha pivotal moment in becoming so driven? I'm gonna brush over this kind of briefly, but also this is like a huge key in my life. So I had been in a relationship before with somebody that was a little trying to think about the word to use. There's so many words I could use. Degrading to me and manipulative, because they did it in a way that it didn't look mean, but it was really mean. This person made me feel so low and so little of myself. It was terrible. And I was like not raised to be that way. My parents raised me to be confident and I'm loved. I can do anything I want. Like, you can do it kind of thing. Like, my parents raised us to be like that. And then when I was in this relationship, it slowly like just started tearing me apart, and I started to feel really insecure and felt like I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I actually remember him telling me one time that, like, I told him my dream for Salted Road. He probably wouldn't even remember this, but he told me sorry, Garrett. He told me I couldn't do it. And I was like, that was my first red flag. Like, this is really bad. You shouldn't be have anyone close to you that does not believe in your dreams and your goals. Fast forward in time, I wasn't with him anymore, and that was my pivotal moment. So once I was single again, like, I felt so confident again. I knew who I was in the Lord. I knew what my dreams were and that I could accomplish anything I set my mind to. And I was like, I can do this. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence when God lays something on your heart, and I'm gonna do it. And anyone that tells me I'm not gonna do it is toxic. I don't need that in my life, and that's good advice for you guys too. But if you have someone that's close to you in your life that does not believe in your dreams, like, cut that out. Like, that's toxic. You need to go after your dreams, and that's the only thing that's going to give you passion and give you excitement in life, is to pursue that. And so I noticed that I started to feel so positive about myself when I pursued what I was passionate about. I'm by no means not like blaming that person. I think I'm just saying anyone in general that's toxic in your life, by cutting those people out, I started to be more picky about who I allowed close to me, and I noticed a difference. And I'm like so happy and like so confident since, I don't know, just I'm such a different person from people that knew me 5 years ago. But I feel really good, and I feel like who I'm meant to be finally now. I'm gonna answer one more question and then we're gonna be done because this is kind of a long video. What are you most looking forward to accomplishing this year? I just am excited to get Salted Road running and just kind of to see how it goes, because I know this first year is going to be a lot of trial and error, and I've been going for this for like 5 years, and it's finally here and about to be ready and open, and that's just crazy. Yeah, I'm just excited to see how that goes, and that's it. And to see how Garrett's business goes and all of that. There's a lot of exciting things, a lot of hard work, but exciting things coming this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not already following me on Instagram, go follow me there at Tay Terrell. That's where I have you ask questions and stuff for future Q&As and all that jazz. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.